Good morning, everyone. As Eric mentioned, I'm Sarah Hartman with TSYS, and I'm joined today by my colleague, Casey Gaiman. We're very excited to be here with you this morning to share information with you on our TSYS hybrid functionality. TSYS, for those of you that are not familiar with our company, is a global payments processor headquartered in Columbus, Georgia. We earned $1.9 billion in 2009 through the efforts of our 8,000 employees worldwide. Casey and I would like to walk you through an example of how our TSYS hybrid functionality works. We believe when we're done, you'll see how this innovative payment solution provides consumers with increased choice and helps them manage their finances in a convenient and simple way. All of us have credit cards. If you're like I am, you periodically go to the credit card website to view various information on your account. I'm going to walk you through an example from my own personal financial situation. We're simulating an issuer site that we call thisismyaccount.com, and it incorporates our TSYS hybrid functionality. I'm on the website, and I just finished updating my mobile alerts. I'm interested in the ad about how to manage my spending, and I click to see the various benefits. I see I gain personal control and flexibility. I'll be automating my financial management and fully leveraging my line of credit, and it's free. That all sounds great, so I'm going to go to the next page to see how it works. I see I can continue to use my same credit card and use it everywhere I do today. I can link up to 5 different deposit accounts. I can decide what to pay now or pay later by setting my preferences by dollar amount, type of purchase, or a combination of both. And I'll earn rewards on everything. I'm ready to get started, so I'm going to accept the terms and conditions and add my linked accounts. I happen to have 3 different deposit accounts at 2 different financial institutions. My husband and I have a joint checking account, which you'll see is already set up here because we use it for our monthly payments. I'm going to add our joint savings account, which we use for vacation and travel. And while I'm here, I'm also going to go ahead and add my individual checking account. Okay, I'm ready to set up my actual preferences. I'm going to establish 3 preferences to start because I know I can come back later and change them or create more. I like to use my credit card for all my purchases, but I sometimes don't like it when I have a high balance to pay at the end of the month. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up a preference so that all of my grocery purchases are paid now from my joint checking, regardless of the amount. Next, I'm going to establish a preference so that travel is paid from my joint savings. You might recall that's the account I mentioned we have set up for our travel. Finally, I'm going to set things up so all my small purchases under $20 are also paid from my joint checking. As I mentioned up front, my preferences can be set by dollar amount, purchase category, or a combination of both. I really like the control this gives me. Okay, now that my preferences are set, I'm going to log out and I'm going to take you on a brief journey through time. I'd like you to imagine it's a couple of days later. I've been actively using my card, and then after making one of my grocery purchases, I received a text message. As you can see on my phone, I received an alert for that grocery purchase because it was over $250, and I'd set that alert up originally. You might recall that I'd said anything over $250, I want the alert. I'm going to show you that transaction and all my transactions in a minute. We mentioned at the start that TSYS is a global payments provider. We are literally the action behind the transaction. And with our TSYS hybrid functionality, that action is very powerful. All the transactions came into TSYS for processing and settlement, just like any other credit card transaction. Then, since we had the hybrid functionality, we went out, compared the preferences to the transactions that came in, and we tagged those that matched the various preferences. Then we adjusted the credit line and paid those I'd marked to be paid now. It's that easy. Let's log back in and see how my preferences were applied. You'll notice my grocery transactions, which I'd set to be paid now, were paid that way. The same is true for the transactions under $20. The Steed Airlines purchase for a vacation trip to Montana was paid from my savings, so everything worked just the way I requested. The other transactions stayed on my credit line. You may also notice, if you look to the left of the screen, that I earned rewards on all my purchases, and my current rewards balance is now several thousand points higher. I'm a bit concerned about that large grocery purchase and the alert that I received. I wish I'd left it on my credit line, but the great news is it's very easy to go in and make changes. I can change my future preferences, and I can also make a one-time switch for that particular transaction. I simply click, change it back to credit, and confirm. TSYS then does all the processing behind the scenes. Finally, I've decided I really only want to have my future grocery purchases paid now if they're for $200 or less. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to adjust that preference so that grocery purchases are only paid now if they're $200 or less. Then I'm going to log off, and I'm going to let the TSYS hybrid functionality take care of the rest. We'd like to thank you for your time today and allowing us to demonstrate how our innovative TSYS hybrid functionality provides consumers with increased choice and control. We look forward to speaking with many of you during the networking session. Thank you.